64 and I-75 moving to the east. Again, other areas of some significance now showing up south of that along I-75 and near University. So the tornado watch, and I should say tornado warning, is in effect until 4:15. And the area in orange that you see here is a severe thunderstorm warning, meaning the potential for winds gusting as high as 50 miles an hour and up to 60 miles an hour. In some cases, small hail, very heavy rainfall, and strong gusty winds. As I alluded to earlier, there's already been reports of some significant damage in parts of the counties to our north, with over 4 tornado warnings at one point going on in Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco County just about a half hour ago. Those have since expired, but we continue to watch this particular area right here into Manatee County. So folks downwind from this, again, Parrish, you have the potential for rough weather, even though you're not in the tornado warning at this time. You have the potential for anywhere in that area of orange of winds gusting as high as 60 miles an hour. Now, this will more than likely spread southward in terms of that warning, as that line is starting to move into Siesta Key now, as well as near Osprey. This is the wind shear product, and yes, indeed, this is starting to show a little bit more rotation here with this particular cell right along State Road 64 east of I-75. Once again, more than likely it's down a little bit further from the location that you see right there on the wind shear. So we are watching this line as well, pushing off to the east. So people in Northport as well as into Inglewood, Venice, get ready for some very heavy rainfall. We're going to be back in just about 30 seconds here to give you a complete update on this storm. Okay, so we're just going to continue on now with our 4 p.m. show. No open. Okay, so here we go. Siesta Key showing some very heavy rainfall. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on ABC 7 News at 4. We're updating you now on the tornado warning in effect for the next 15 minutes for Manatee County, as an intense line of storms continues to work its way through our region, and will do so for the next hour or so. That tornado warning is in effect for much of central Manatee County until 4:15. So anyone in that warned area should seek shelter immediately. Go into a small interior room, such as a closet or a bathroom, away from windows, and certainly not in a vehicle. So delay any kind of trips that you may have planned here, at least for the next half hour or so, as this shear product is indicating that this may be a twister right there. A quick spin up from this line of intense storms. Now this is going to be adjusting off to the east and northeast, so more than likely it's right about here as the storm is moving to the east at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Once again, you can see it moved in through Anna Maria Island, or just north thereof. That was it right there, and now that line is well in east of Bradenton. Elsewhere, they had a reported tornado earlier near MacDill Air Force Base. That too did cause some damage just to the north thereof, downing trees and power outages into Hillsborough County. You can see all these areas in red on the shear product. There were at one point, as I said, 4 separate Doppler indicated tornadoes moving through Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas County. And as far as any kind of rotation goes, it's not showing up all that well on the radial velocity. There's no major couplet at this time. However, we'll have to keep an eye on that as we move through time. Again, it looks like this activity now near Rye Road and near State Road 64. That's where the tornado warning is now in effect. So we'll go back and show you some the warned area as we take a look at that right now. Again, Osprey, this is also starting to show some rotation just to the west of your location, which should be on your area here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, as well as Nokomis, and then down into Venice here as we move through time. Bradenton, it looks like downtown Bradenton, you're out of the woods as far as that tornado warning goes, but the heavy rainfall is not quite over yet. Wow, this is really starting to pick up now, as you see just to the southeast of Parrish. This is the cell that we are watching, State Road 64 right there, I-75. And folks, not a lot of populated area here. However, there are many homes in this region, and it's pushing off to the east-northeast. And this is starting to show a little bit more intensity, folks. So this may be intensifying as it races off to the east. We'll keep an eye on these cells as they make their way toward the east and southeast throughout the next hour or so. We'll bring you up to date with this tornado warning in just a few minutes from now. I'm going to hand it over to Jacqueline and Scott. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Happening now, a major road in Sarasota is back open after a gas leak. Police say that gas leak occurred at the Midtown Plaza at East Avenue in Bay Vista. As a precaution, Bay Vista was closed from US 41 to Tuttle. But again, that major road in Sarasota is back open at this hour.
As the Jewish community prepares to celebrate another Shabbat, the 97-year-old woman who was the oldest victim of the Pittsburgh synagogue massacre was laid to rest today.
Rose Malinger was among 11 victims gunned down in the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history. Her daughter was also wounded in the attack at Tree of Life Synagogue. She had attended Tree of Life for more than 60 years. Suspected shooter Robert Bowers was in court yesterday to hear the charges made against him, some of which could ultimately result in the death penalty if he is convicted.
Now, this will be the first Sabbath following the synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh.
Jewish leaders across the country will be using their weekly Shabbat as a way to show the world that hate cannot be tolerated and that all communities need to come together. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from the Jewish congregation in Venice with more details on tonight's services. Rebecca?
Jacqueline Scott, yes, I spoke to the rabbi here earlier, and he was telling me that tonight's services are not just for the Jewish faith, but for everyone in our community and really across the country. And that's because the American Jewish Committee started the Show Up for Shabbat campaign on social media to invite people of all faiths and walks of lives to attend services either tonight or tomorrow morning, to not only show solidarity for the victims, but to send a powerful message that this was not just a hate crime on the Jewish community, but on American values. The Shabbat is a traditional day of rest in Judaism, observed from sundown on Friday until Saturday evening. Last week's violent attack was during this day of prayers and togetherness, and that's why Jewish leaders say this campaign is the perfect way to show strength and that love will always conquer hate. Tonight at 6, I'll give you some more details of what's happening here in Venice for tonight's services and what the Jewish community has to say about all the outgoing support. For now, live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Rebecca. Let's get back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan now with the latest on a tornado warning in Manatee County. Bob?
Yeah, we made some new graphics here. We're going to show you that. It's in effect until 4:15, so just about 10 minutes from now. It's expected to expire. There have been some new warnings issued north of our area as well with this band. I would not be surprised to see some warnings issued with this cell as it makes its way on toward Venice as well as into Northport and possibly places to the south. But this is the cell or the line of storms intense cells that are developing right now as we speak near Parrish from very heavy rainfall. But right along State Road 64 and I-75 is where we think there is the tornado. There's the area now. It has shrunk a little bit in size as the storm is racing off to the east. So folks in Lakewood Ranch, you're okay right now. That has now expired for you, but a new one has been formed, a new one issued just by the National Weather Service just north into, again, Polk County. This is the cell in particular. It's in effect until 4:15. Folks in the area of red here, you should seek shelter immediately if you are in the path of this tornado, as there have been several, and several more have just popped up within the last 15 minutes with this same band of storms making its way to the east at this point. The area in orange you see, that's a severe thunderstorm warning that has now been in place too. But this is the one right here. This is definitely some rotation, and I think for certain there is some damage going to be found with this path as it makes its way to the east. We're starting to see the yellow here, and if we query this particular area, it's showing winds up to at least gate-to-gate winds up to 88 miles an hour, and this has just intensified within the last 5 minutes, heading toward, again, County Road 675. You see Oak Knoll right there, and then downstream from that you have Duet, and that's moving in the direction of toward Duet, as we will see here in just a minute. So once again, a tornado warning is in effect for at least the next 8 minutes or so, as this cell is racing off to the northeast at around 20 to 30 miles an hour. There's Duet. If you project this, it's moving to the east, northeast, could be there within the next 10 minutes. So we'll see if it holds together with the next update, which will be coming down in the next couple of minutes on this particular cell from the Doppler radar site. But once again, this tornado is fairly serious, and it's very indicative of a tornado when you get this kind of wind shear marker on this particular product. Once again, we're also watching these heavy storms out here in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, heavy rain, heavy rain in Sarasota and Siesta Key. Nothing too surprising about that particular area. Here's some video coming in of some very heavy rainfall right now. Yes, the rain is heavy. The winds are up to 40 to 50 miles an hour with these storms. Not there in that shot in particular, but as the line gets close to you, this is already over the top of us. But as the line gets closer to you in places like Venice, as well as in Inglewood and Northport, that's when you're going to see those stronger winds out ahead of the actual heavy rain band that you see right there. There's some lightning here. We also look for an increase in lightning to kind of give us an indication of where some possible rotation may be occurring. These are quick spin-ups. There's not going to be any kind of tornado watch for us, but warning's a definite possibility as we're seeing right now into Manatee County. So once again, this is the cell in particular that we're watching right along the Manatee River that you see east of I-75. Doppler indicated tornado moving off to the east-northeast rather rapidly. Right now it looks as though that is still kind of holding together. This should be updated here in the next minute, as I said, as the radar product. It is a product that takes about 5 minutes to generate. As we move through time, we'll see this updated and find the exact position of it. But we'll show you how fast it has been moving. At around 30 miles an hour. You can see it earlier, just about a half hour ago. It was over Manatee County in northwest Bradenton near Anna Maria Island, and now it's already well east of I-75, racing off to the east and northeast at around 20 to 30 miles an hour, while the individual storms are moving at 40 to 50 miles an hour. We had some tornadoes into Pinellas and Hillsborough County. Doppler indicated there earlier. Those have since moved on to the east at this point. And now we have new ones being issued to Polk County as well as north thereof. We'll go to the radio velocity product and show you. We don't see any major signature here into Parrish or Ellington at this point, and the winds are not all that strong with that, but the ones to the east thereof are what we're watching now, east of I-75, heading off toward Duet, with this cell in particular making its way off to the east-northeast. We'll keep you up to date. The tornado warning is in effect for the next 5 minutes now, and it may be reissued if, once again, this product shows it not weakening. So far, it's been rather intense. In the last 5 minutes, it's gone from about a 60-mile-an-hour gate-to-gate wind shear up to 88 mile an hour, and that would indicate that it is gaining some strength as it pushes off to the east. So folks near Manhattan, stretching off to Duet, look out for the potential for a tornado. We'll keep you up to date. We'll keep an eye on those cells down to our south. I'm going to update some maps and products, and I'll be right back with you. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Two former state House speakers say a new Rebuild 850 initiative will encourage investment to help rebuild parts of Northwest Florida. Backers hope it will help keep people from forgetting the Panhandle, beachfront, and rural communities that were devastated by Hurricane Michael last month. The storm causing at least $4.5 billion in damage and an estimated 35 deaths in Florida, with about 20,000 people left homeless by Michael and more living with family and friends. Former House Speaker Will Weatherford says victims of the storm need help now.
We can't wait for the politics to work itself out in regard to Hurricane Michael. I think there's enough need today that people need to act. The concern is that as time goes on, people may forget about the Panhandle, may forget about the counties that have been affected. So Rebuild 850's purpose is to make sure people don't forget.
With people focused on Tuesday's elections and the hurricane not causing a crisis outside the Panhandle, Weatherford feels attention has already started to shift away from the impacts of that October 10th hurricane. Still to come, what Sarasota County schools are doing to provide appropriate mental health counseling for students, and students in Oklahoma transforming their school into Hogwarts to surprise a classmate fighting a rare disease.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
This weekend on the ABC7 live stream.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut! It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Where to go and what to do in Muscle Shoals in Florence, Alabama. Personalized just for you. Find your sweet spots at alabama.travel/sweetspot.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
As part of the new Public Safety Act in Florida, schools in every district were required to form a new mental health plan for their students. So while police force was working around the clock to be prepared for the start of the school year, so were the district's mental health professionals. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano was live at Sarasota County's headquarters with what changes have been made. Taylor?
That's right, Scott. Today, the school district unveiled its many new partnerships to advocate for mental health within this community. Now, the experts say there's a lot of work to be done, but this is a vital component of the many safety additions in the works at every school in Florida. The Florida Department of Education says that all school districts in our state were given a total of $69 million to establish or expand their mental health care. Sarasota County received $1 million of that. With the money and valued partnerships with many mental health organizations in and around Sarasota, there are now mental health therapists at 16 elementary schools, 5 middle schools, and at every high school, a triage of services that include mental and behavioral health. The district says every campus also has at least one school guidance counselor, social worker, and a psychologist. Now, staff is hosting a digital town hall next Thursday in order to announce these new partnerships and also give you a look inside the brand new survey that one of them just launched. So stay tuned. Make sure you tune in at 6 o'clock for that. But for now, I'm live at the Landings. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. Jacqueline has the latest on the pipe bomb suspect in his court appearance in Miami.
Scott, the Florida man accused of sending explosive devices to prominent Democrats and critics of President Trump will be moved to New York for trial. This morning, Cesar Sayoc waived his right to a pre-trial detention hearing in Miami. Sayoc will remain in jail for now and will be transferred to New York to face federal charges.
We felt it more appropriate for the lawyers that are going to represent him in the long run to make the analysis and determination and decide what they want to do for the best interest of Mr. Sayoc.
For now, Sayoc will remain in jail until he is transferred to New York, where he faces 5 federal charges. If convicted, he could spend up to 48 years in prison. Florida is emerging as an epicenter of the nation's polarizing politics in the final days of the 2018 campaign. In the closely contested campaign for governor, President Trump and GOP nominee Ron DeSantis have used what has been called racially coded language to slam Democrat Andrew Gillum. That and the race for a key U.S. Senate seat are playing out in communities still recovering from a major hurricane and a deadly school shooting. Hot-button issues, including guns, race, and the environment, are unfolding in a deeply personal way. Well, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us again with the latest on the first alert forecast and those tornado warnings. Bob.
Right, the tornado warning for Manatee County has expired. Good news, the next product, and I'll show it to you in a minute, shows that system that we are watching weakening right now, although we are starting to see a little flare-up down south just to the east of Osprey. The line of intense storms will continue to race off to the southeast while the storms themselves move in that line to the northeast at 40 to 50 miles an hour. And that's creating some twist in the atmosphere, and that's where we're seeing these small, brief tornado, at least Doppler-indicated tornadoes that have caused some damage into Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties, as well as into Polk County now. And there has been a report, there's a possible fire in Bradenton. We're going to get more on that here in a little bit, but that may have resulted from the strong winds and the storm that moved on through and the lightning. Now, we see that rain is intense into North Sarasota County now and stretching off into the Gulf of Mexico. I know a lot of folks have some outdoor plans this evening. Once this line moves through, the threat of severe weather will be coming to an end. We'll still see the potential for some moderate to light rainfall, though, through the next couple of hours. Hopefully it'll be out of here in time for football Friday night, but we still are watching the rough weather blow up near Parrish, some heavy rainfall. We'll keep an eye on this particular leading edge of this squall line. Right now the rain's coming down pretty heavy near Bradenton, a few lightning strikes there as well. The severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for North Manatee County, as well as into southwestern portions of Polk and southeastern Hillsborough County. This has since expired now. We had a tornado warning earlier if you're just now joining us for central Manatee County. There haven't been any reports of damage at this point into our newsroom right now, but we are checking on that. As far as the overall picture goes, it's been a very active hour and a half. We've been dealing with this intense line of storms. It's been making its way to the east very rapidly. There have been over, I'd say, 8 separate tornado warnings over the past hour and a half, from Pinellas, Hillsborough, up to Pasco, Hernando, even into Polk, and now Manatee County. The tornado warning that had been in place for Manatee County is no longer valid at this point. You can see that one particular area, that signature we were watching on the wind shear, has now faded away. So that's good news for folks in the central Manatee as well as into east Manatee County. But this is the one we're watching now, starting to show a little brighter green, indicating that we may be seeing something pop up there near Myakka State Park. Again, you can see the motion. It's moving off to the east-southeast now at around 20 to 30 miles an hour. And another little area just south of Osprey starting to show up on the wind shear. But Siesta Key, as far as any tornadoes go, Longboat Key, and no problems there as that intense line has now shifted to the east. But places down to the south like Inglewood, Northport, and Punta Gorda, still you have to deal with this intense line of storms. It's not as intense as it once was, but still there's some potential there. For winds gusting up to 40, 50 miles an hour, and even the potential for these small, very brief, isolated, small and weak tornadoes. We're talking EF0s, EF1s, but enough to cause damage as they move on through. And it looks as though we'll see this heavy rainfall at least for the next, I would say, half hour to hour across Sarasota County, and then everything shifts east as far as the rough weather goes, and then we still have to deal with this light rainfall. Once this plows on through, things are improving for the weekend. We'll have much more on that forecast coming up at 5 o'clock. So once again, the severe weather warning continues for northeast Manatee County, also western portions of Hardy County for at least the next half hour. And the tornado warning that had been in place for Manatee County has expired. We'll keep you up to date if any more advisories or warnings are issued by the National Weather Service throughout this newscast and even beyond if something were to pop up between the again, 4:30 and 5 o'clock hour. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Still to come, where you can catch some popular art walk this weekend here on the Suncoast.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up Monday morning live at 9, Parrish history comes alive on stage. Parrish Playworks previews their show called Southern Hospitality. A world-famous sand sculptor tells us about the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Competition, and a renowned French beauty talks about poodles. Whole Foods is in the kitchen. That's all coming up Monday morning, live at 9.
You like to pay less. That's why you made Honda Accord the best-selling midsize car in America. Get the redesigned Accord, the North American Car of the Year, or Civic, a KBP.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Like SUVs and trucks? Get Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, CR-V, the 8-passenger Pilot or Ridgeline truck for up to $4,240 less today at your local Honda dealer.
I was so congested, and neti pots, drugs, and nasal sprays were just not doing the job. I was sure nothing would work until I tried the My Pure Mist Free Steam Inhaler. My doctor told me that steam is a really effective natural decongestant. With my little personal spa, I am free to breathe. It's the only cordless and the only ultra pure steam inhaler. If allergies or sinus congestion is holding you back, you need to try the My Pure Mist Free.
Get the cordless My Pure Mist at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walgreens, or Amazon.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
A group of Oklahoma middle school students transformed their school into a Hogwarts castle. It was all to help a classmate who couldn't travel to Harry Potter World in Orlando for his Make-A-Wish trip. Teague Niebrug recently found out his blindness was a sign of a degenerative condition called Batten disease, and he was not able to go. So instead of going to the Wizarding World himself, it came to him. On Halloween, his entire class dressed up as the characters, transformed part of the school into Hogwarts, and even staged a Quidditch game.
Very cool. Well, it may no longer be Halloween. It's done and gone, but masks and spooky art are still visible at Bradenton's Village of the Arts this weekend. The annual Festival of the Skeletons will include a community shrine paying tribute to wildlife lost this year's red tide outbreak and a giant sugar skull sculpture incorporating the artwork of 400 area students. The main event starts tonight at 5:30. It'll run until 11 and then starts up again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. and goes until 4. It will be at the Village of the Arts in Bradenton, and admission is free. Back now to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for one last look at our weather tonight. Bob?
It's been a wild afternoon so far, and it's not over yet. This particular cell near Wauchula, have to keep an eye on it, starting to show some pretty good lightning with that. The tornado warning that had been in place for Manatee County has since expired. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northeast Manatee County until 4:30 this afternoon. We're watching that heavy rain now moving into Venice, near Osprey, Nokomis, and starting to lessen up in Sarasota and Longboat Key, but still for Inglewood, Northport, Port Charlotte, you have a ways to go yet before this line moves on through, and it has been producing some heavy rainfall at times. You can see that rainfall now moving through Lakewood Ranch down to Siesta Key. There's the severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Winds could be as high as 60 miles an hour. Northeast parts of Manatee County, northwest Hardy County. This is a new tornado warning in effect just south of Interstate 4 into Polk County. Well, much more coming up at 5 and break into programming if necessary. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. We'll see you again at 5.